This video is kindly brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to create a beautiful online presence. Hi, my name's Janelle and welcome back to Rosery Apparel. In this video, I'm going to be sharing how to make this incredible patchwork dress. I'm calling it my patchwork dress, even though I'm not 100% sure it's technically patchwork. But basically in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to join two different fabrics together to create this kind of quilted patchwork look. So let's get straight into it and let me show you how to make this beautiful patchwork dress. First up, let me show you how to make the patchwork fabric that we'll be making this dress out of. For my dress, I'm using some secondhand bed sheets, and even though they are definitely in contrast to one another, I feel like the colours of both fabrics complement one another really nicely. For the skirt of the dress, we are going to be cutting 4 rectangles with the following measurements from each fabric. We are then going to stitch the rectangles together to create 3 larger rectangles that will look like this. A really good thing about using bed sheets is that they're very easy to rip, making cutting out all of the different rectangles a lot quicker and also a lot more accurate as you're able to rip along the grain of the fabric. Next, from your fabric, cut out the following rectangles. This is what we're going to be cutting the bodice of the dress out of. And finally, cut out one last lot of rectangles with the following measurements. I ended up finding that the rose bedsheet fabric was a little bit thin and see-through, and so I decided to cut out more rectangles out of a lining fabric as well. I then simply placed the rose fabric on top of the lining rectangles, which made them a much more similar thickness to the gingham fabric I was using. And you should now have 3 piles of different sized rectangles like this. Next, we're going to overlock the raw edges of the rectangles to prevent them from fraying. If you don't have an overlocker, you can simply use the zigzag stitch of your sewing machine instead. As I overlock, I am stitching the rose fabric and the lining pieces together. And now we can finally get started on sewing all the rectangles together. But before we do, let's take a moment to talk about the sponsor of this video. This video has been very kindly sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to create a beautiful online presence and run your business. Whether you want to start making and selling your own products, create a portfolio to showcase your work, write a blog, or simply create any website of any kind, Squarespace have so many beautifully designed templates to choose from. You're sure to find one that's perfect for you and your needs. Once you've selected a template, you can then customize it completely, from the overall layout of the website to all the fun details such as the fonts and colors. When I first sat down to create the Rosery Apparel website back in 2015, I already had a clear idea in my mind what I wanted the website to have and what I wanted it to look like as well. And then when I found out about Squarespace, I was so surprised how easily I was able to implement everything I had in mind for my dream website, as Squarespace just made it so easy to add and remove things to the website with just a few clicks, no knowledge or background needed in coding whatsoever. So if you'd like to create a beautiful website of your own, then head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And then when you're ready to launch your beautiful new website, head to squarespace.com/Rosery Apparel for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks Squarespace for sponsoring this video. So to make the quilted fabric for this dress, stitch the rectangles together with right sides together, alternating between the different fabrics. Then once all the rectangles are stitched together, press the seams open with an iron. Then keep repeating this process for all the different sized rectangles. And all up, you should have the following patchwork fabric rectangles. To make this dress, we're going to be using my Rosa pattern, which I'll have a link to in the description of this video. And I'm now going to show you how to cut out the pattern from the patchwork fabric step by step. Start by taking the bodice fabric rectangle and fold it in half. Then place the bodice front template of the Rosa pattern onto the fold of the fabric and place the back bodice template beside it. Then cut them both out. Next, cut the sleeve template out of the sleeve fabric one by one. And then cut the facing pieces out of the remaining fabric. And then if you'd like pockets in your dress, then cut out the pocket templates out of any leftover fabric. These will obviously be hidden on the inside of the dress, so don't need to have the patchwork design. But in saying that, feel free to use any leftover patchwork fabric you might have for the pockets too. As for the skirt of the dress, the larger patchwork rectangle will be the skirt front and the two smaller rectangles will be the skirt back. And all up, you should have the following pieces cut out and ready to sew. I've already shared a tutorial on how to sew the Rosa dress, and I'll be following the exact same steps in that video to put this dress together. So instead of just simply repeating myself, go and have a watch of that video for all of the instructions on how to put this dress together, and I'll have a link to it in the description box below. So once you've finished putting the Rosa dress together, you should now have an amazing patchwork dress like this. So how does it look? I am just so obsessed with how this dress turned out, and not only was the patchwork fabric so much fun to make, but it's also such a great way to highlight two beautiful fabrics in the one dress. And even though this dress was in no way a quick make, it did take a lot of effort, but I think it was all completely worth it because now I have this amazing dress which is unlike anything else I have in my wardrobe, and it's also completely different to anything you can just go to the shops and buy as well. And if you do have a go at making this dress for yourself, then I would love to see it, so be sure to tag me when you share your photos on Instagram at Rosery Apparel. Have a lovely day and thanks for watching!